Hi, this is Pat McDonald, your host for Vote for Vermont, where our tagline is Listening Beyond the Soundbites. Joining me in studio today is
Hi.
Sean. How are you, Sean?
Good, how are you doing, Pat?
Good. Sean works here at ORCA, and he is the Community Outreach and Operations Coordinator. What does that mean, Sean?
I kind of juggle a couple of different roles, but my main roles are helping our production manager and content manager find different events that we're going to film and then help them kind of organize the production of that.
Excellent.
That's kind of the operation support. And then the other side is community outreach, where I help folks that want to make their own kind of films and things like that. I help them with training or just learning the process of filmmaking.
Nice.
And stuff like that. And I run the youth education operations kind of here.
That's great. Good for you. Well, today I was home getting ready for tonight's show, and across my my cell phone comes this notice that says, Make TV and Film Camp, Summer 2025. And we had been doing this, and not, I guess, for COVID and who knows why, but it's back. Could you explain this to us? And we'll put the, I think we'll put a copy of the notice so people can see what it looks like.
Yeah,
What are you up to?
We've been doing the camp every summer since I've been working here, which has been a few years. It used to be run by Christopher Warsama, who was our old community engagement person. So basically, every summer we have like a week-long film camp from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, where different students, it used to be only 11 to 14, it had like a specific age group, come in for the week and learn filmmaking. And we've done lots of different kind of versions of it. Some summers they make kind of mock studio shows. A couple years ago they did a 20-minute program where they made fun of 3 different like game shows. So they did like a Jeopardy, a Wheel of Misfortune, stuff like that. And then they made little mini commercials to like intercut it. Last year we did Crowdsource Vermont, which is a program that Media Factory does every year, where they get a bunch of production teams around the state to remake scenes from a Hollywood movie, and then they put it all together to be a big movie. So we just look for different ways to teach film and television to students that are interested in it. One of the feedbacks we got last year is that since I've been doing it, which is basically since COVID, I was helping Christopher and I took over last year, is a lot of the same kids come back every year because they love filmmaking, they love hanging out with their friends, and a lot of those kids were aging out of that 11 to 14 age group. So we decided to do 2 camps this year, back-to-back weeks. Yeah, so we have our first level 1 camp, which is kind of what it used to be, 11 to 14. And then we have a level 2, which will be the second week, which is for kids that have done our camp before, or done some other kind of like film class or camp before, and are maybe a little older. So any 18 and under that has previous like film camp experience.
Have you known of any kids that has gone on to bigger and better things in their career, or you kind of lose track of them?
Well, like I said, because the group that we've mostly been working with since I've been doing it was 11 to 14, they're still all kind of in school. But one of those students I've had mentor and like shadow on my own film productions before and stuff. And then I also do like community-based learning programs where I mentor older kids like at MHS and U32. And the student I mentored this fall actually just got into NYU and Emerson for school, and so they're figuring out where they're going to go. But those are 2 of the better film schools in the country, and the film they made as part of the mentorship program is really what they used for their application. So it helped them get into those schools, which is really really cool.
How many kids are in a class? How many do you see? Now you're going to have 2 classes, so how many will that be?
Usually each class is somewhere between like 6 and 10 is usually where it's kind of falling out.
I bet this would be exciting for kids to do. I mean, they're so used to using their cell phones for pictures and whatever else. This would be just the next extension.
Yeah, I use the how kids use their cell phones a lot to communicate filmmaking ideas, because they actually have been kind of training secretly their whole lives. There's lots of photography and film tech and knowledge that they already have because of their cameras. So we get to use their phones and then like show them how you do that with a more advanced technology, and to make something that looks a little more like what they're used to when they watch movies.
That's right, because I've always been told that I probably know a third of what my cell phone can actually
Yeah,
do.
right.
And I think I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And it's great that these kids could really learn the potential.
Yeah,
that's in
and
their
even
in their
using
cell
cell
phone.
phones to make movies is totally valid. The sequel to 28 Days Later, which is a horror movie from like 2004, there's a new one coming out, and they shot it on iPhones.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so how do you get the word out to the schools? Well, I just got it this morning on the mailing list from here.
Yep, that's the first step, is the mailing list and the social media posts. I've made a poster that we're going to show on your screen. I'm going to bring that to the different schools, going to communicate with the teachers that I communicate for community-based
Right,
learning
great.
for, to kind of have them talk to different kids and see who might be interested
great. Well-
in something like that. Because a week-long program is one thing versus like doing it for the whole school year. I think there's more kids that'd be interested in doing it for a week. And then, it's for a lot of the kids that are kind of interested in film, it's just as much about hanging out with their friends and doing something fun and creative.
Right. I saw one film one year, and I can't remember. It was what they had produced. It was really. I was laughing. It was just whatever it was. I don't remember. But the classes are July 21st, the younger group, and then July 28th.
Yep. So July 21st through 25th, Monday through Friday, is level 1. And then level 2 is July 28th through August 1st,
You're
Monday
going to be a
through
little
Friday.
tired after 2 weeks. So,
Yeah.
how do they register, online or call
Yep,
you?
we have
or
a
what?
Google form
Okay.
that our social media has the links to it, and probably the easiest way for someone that is watching this is giving them our email, and then we can forward them on the link.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you can email me at Sean, SEAN, at orcamedia.net, or community@orcamedia.net.
Excellent.
We can also probably put the link up for
Yeah, that
them,
would be
but
good,
it's
just
going to
let
be a
them
bunch
know.
of random letters because that's what the Google form
So,
creates.
and when they leave here, you give them a link to their show, so they can show all their friends and
Yep.
family and stuff
Yep.
what they did
Yep,
during
what
the
they
week.
make ends up on Orca Media's cable channel and YouTube.
Great.
So it'll be on YouTube, they can share it that way. They can also have the actual digital file to like
Right.
save for their own purposes if they
That's
ever want
great.
to. Last summer, a lot of kids, while they were filming the scenes that they made, they also had extra cameras and they filmed a bunch of BTS stuff. So they have a lot of footage of themselves
doing-
just hanging out and having fun.
Great.
And they edited that, one of them edited that
And I'm
together
sure they
for
come
them.
with friends too, so they know
Yeah.
they're not alone in this class. I'm sure
Yep.
they
Yeah,
come
a lot
with
of them
friends.
know each other.
Yeah. There's
And-
a lot of talent in this area. I know, what's the theater here in Montpelier? They have the same sort of thing for kids with theater. And there's just so much interest. This state is
I hope
amazing for people with talent.
someday I can create a collaboration with those kind of theater camps.
Oh.
One of the hardest parts about making like film with students is acting, is
Yeah.
actors, and they're not usually actors, they're more interested in filmmaking.
Right.
So collaborating with a theater program with people that would be interested in acting could be potentially
That's
a way.
a great idea. I
Yeah.
could see them being interested in that.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about with the Performing Arts Hub next door once
Ah.
they kind of get further along with their different like theater classes and
Right.
stuff. Because
Because most of their actors and actresses, very few of them come up from the city. They're mostly local talent too. So
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Very nice. So this is obviously something you're very interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And do you do things on your own? You mentioned that you do your own thing. What do you do?
I'm a narrative filmmaker. I make horror films with my partner.
Really?
Yep. You didn't know.
As her jaw drops. What? And where do you do this? In our local cemeteries or somewhere?
I've made about 8 horror short films, and they've been all over the place. We've filmed in Stowe at like a 19th century farmhouse. That was where our most recent film was
Yeah.
based on Vermont's frozen hill folk legend. I don't know if you've ever heard about that.
Nope, I haven't.
That's a whole story.
Yeah.
And we've also filmed in like Atlanta, Lake Champlain, Boston. I went to
Wow.
grad school in Boston.
Great. And so that they're shown everywhere. They have.
Yep, they play at film festivals all over the world.
Good for you. And did you win? Did I read somewhere that you had won an award?
Yeah, we won.
Oh, come on, talk about it. You must
Which
always
one?
brag, because nobody else is going to brag for you. So yeah, brag yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we win awards. Short films, we make short films. We're
Yep.
kind of aiming to make feature films eventually, and the process for that is submitting to film festivals
Right.
to be able to be shown in like public spaces and stuff like that. And a lot of those film festivals have different awards. So different film festivals, we've won like Best Horror Film,
Wow.
Best Vermont Short, stuff like
That's
that.
great.
There's a lot of them, it's hard to
And you have a
remember them all.
group of folks that like to act that you know, and
Yeah, we have a team of collaborators that we work with
That's
on
great.
most films. Sometimes the actors shift, depends on the different types of roles movies need and stuff.
in the blood, right?
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm not a big
Horror person. Yeah.
no.
Well, our horror films are a little more mostly dramas that have slight horror elements to
Oh,
kind of
okay. Maybe I'd like that.
exaggerate
I like-
the tension. But for some people, that's even scarier. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been. I like the ones that are just so like King Kong, that is so ridiculous that it can't scare you because
Because it's
just, it's King Kong.
Yeah,
so.
it's kind of more big and
Yeah, but when
fun.
it comes to reality that could actually happen, that's when I kind of freak out. So let's, in the next couple of minutes, just kind of list for everybody what's happening so it can be concise and
Yeah,
they can
sure.
write their
So-
notes.
Should I even talk right to the
Yes,
camera?
talk right to the camera.
Yeah, so this summer we're having 2 film camp sessions as our Make TV and Film Camp, where teenage students will learn how to make film and television, hands-on, learn how to plan, film, and edit them, only in a week. It's a very hands-on, quick program, and we have 2 levels. Level 1 is for 11 to 14-year-olds, and level 2 is for 18 and under and kids that have already had some kind of filmmaking experience in a camp educational setting.
And is there a charge for this camp?
Yeah, it's a sliding scale payment. We kind of like ask $350, but it's pay what you can, and that information is all in the registration
Oh, excellent,
form,
great.
and we can also talk about
Yeah.
it more.
Sean, I wish you a lot of luck. This is exciting. It'll be right here at ORCA.
Yep,
So
be right here in
convenient for
ORCA.
everybody.
We'll be in this studio.
In this studio.
Yeah.
That's cool. And I have enough decoration around. They can.
You should see the way they've decorated this studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
cool.
game show one was wild. Like
Oh.
cardboard everywhere and like building
Good
like
for
a
them.
literal
Orca.
spin. Like they had one kid that does engineering who built a literal spinning thing
Oh,
for their.
really?
yeah,
Just
it was-
like the show?
Yep.
How awesome.
Yeah, and he
Wow.
made it so it landed on a certain spot every time for the joke.
That's funny. I love that. Anyway, thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate your coming on the show, and I hope you have a lot of success.
Thanks.
Thanks. This is Pat McDonald, your host for Vote for Vermont, where our tagline is listening beyond the soundbite.